Day 3 of D3Football.com on the road here. Our fourth stop on this trip is in Columbus, Ohio at Capital University, home of the Crusaders, coached by Chad Rogosheske. Coach Rogosheske is in his second year as the head man with the Crusaders and now has the benefit of not having to teach his entire system here in this shortened training camp. They had their inter-squad scrimmage here earlier this afternoon here at Bernlohr Stadium. We'll talk with him about that, as well as just general prospects for the Crusaders here in 2017 and what it's like coaching and playing and just existing in the shadow of the Buckeyes at the Ohio State University up the street.
To be honest, because we start school so early, we start this upcoming Monday, it affected us minimally. I think we fell behind with allowing us to practice on our administrative day. We fell behind 2 practices from a year ago, I think is how it came out. So it didn't affect us as much as I know some other schools. But from a teaching perspective, I really don't mind the one-a-day practices. From an opportunity to be on the field, working the techniques, obviously, the more practices you miss, the harder it is. So I understand the stress that puts on, the coaches across the country. Every year or two I've gone through at a new program, and the last 3 jobs I've had have been new staffs taking over programs, oddly enough for triple option teams. So I have some experience with that transition, but year 2 is almost a different world as far as where the guys are at in their understanding of the schemes that you're putting in, the techniques that you're teaching, the expectations that you have. You start to see the separation between the returning players who have been through it before and the newcomers coming in, and those 2 groups were not quite as separate a year ago when everyone was learning it for the first time, and you just see how much further along your returners are, especially when you have a new group of guys in that you can provide a comparison base with. Really, as coaches, having a university like Ohio State 5 minutes away from us, that we can go over there, we can watch practices, and we've had opportunities to sit down with their coaches, work their camps, and then obviously so many players and coaches across the state of Ohio and even in the region are coming in to work Ohio State's camps in the summer. So, from a networking and sharing ideas standpoint, it is a huge advantage, I think. And we understand our role. We understand where we are at NCAA Division III, and I think we've got a great niche here in Bexley, Ohio, and in our community on the Capital University campus. And we just see having the big university and the city of Columbus as an advantage for both of our players and our coaches, and a way of improving our program. I always see it as a positive. In the places that I've coached haven't been schools that were up with those teams. But you have that thought in your mind that if we can get there, if we can position ourselves in the top half of these leagues and start competing for conference championships, that you're ready to play at a national level. You're ready to compete with just about anybody you could face heading into the NCAA playoffs. So I only see that as an advantage for schools that are in conferences with some of those Division III giants that you had mentioned, that when we can get ourselves up to that level, we know we'll be ready to compete at a national level.